Hey yo, boy, it's your boy Kill, man, and today we come with something different. This is something I normally do in my free time, and today I'm gonna be bringing it to my YouTube channel, and that's gonna be reacting to and featuring live videos from other creators and other situations that's going on in the media. We're going to start reacting to all types of events, and we're going to bring a new feel to the channel so you guys could get a little bit more insight about how I see and view these types of situations. Today we got Billy Sorrells. He's a comedian. He's known for his work with All Deaf and a couple comedy specials that he has put together. And he's been putting up a lot of content in relation to Katt Williams. And Katt Williams' former bodyguard that was once thought to be his cousin due to the sharing of the same last name Williams, but it was concluded that they have no relation. Reggie Carroll was a growing, decorated comedian with accolades such as appearing on Showtime at the Apollo, starring in the 2023 stand-up special Knockout Kings of Comedy. And he was also featured on a role in an episode of the Parker sitcom. Reggie was loved and respected by his comedian peers, and so this situation hit deep in a lot of people's heart. Even the star of the aforementioned show, The Parkers, Monique, took to Instagram by her quote-unquote brother Reggie, said, "This is why I always treat people the best you can, because you never know if you'll get a chance to see them again. And this last time, me and my brother Reggie," she said, quote, "Girl, we was together. That was it. An amazing time being on tour together, being on that road together, and what a time. So I have no sad tears because all of our times together were amazing." Early in the investigation, the police had excluded Katt Williams from any wrongdoing. They noted that the only participant in the crime was Trinell Williams, as far as their knowledge. But comedian Billy Sorrells has other things in mind. He was friends with Reggie Carroll, and he believes that he was either set up by Katt Williams. Trinell was hired by Katt Williams to unalive Reggie, or Katt Williams unalived Reggie himself and used Trinell as the fall man. Now, Billy has taken to Instagram almost on a daily basis, going live, making posts, and bashing Katt Williams at every chance he gets. It's to the point for some people it seems excessive. Billy is seen warring with people in the comments of many of his posts in regards to this situation. He does not fray away from any fight in regarding this situation. If you want to question his beliefs in this situation, he will comment back, or he will block you, from what I've seen. So I can tell that Billy has been taking this situation seriously, and that this is not some type of troll event, at least for him. This is a serious situation, and a situation that he values, and that he's investing time out of his career in order to express his beliefs on this situation. So, like I said, I got a Billy Sorrells live from September 15th, 2025. And we're going to pull this up, and y'all let me know in the comments how you feel. Do you believe that it's possible that Katt is involved in this? Or do you think Billy is conspiracizing this situation and making it a lot more complicated than it is? Again, like, comment, subscribe.
My sweet, sweet babies. Oh, my babies. Now, why would they do that? Why do they? I'm not going to let it go, my sweet babies. I'm not going to be off it until my babies that, oh, my sweet babies. That's why when people say, Monique, when you going to stop with Tyler and Oprah? I'm not. Just so we clear, I'm not. Because we've gotten so used to letting it go and moving on. Well, where does that come from? Let it go. That dates all the way back to slavery. Just don't say nothing. Just keep moving on. And that's why we continue to be treated the way that we get treated. So for me, my babies, I won't let go and I won't move on from that. Doesn't mean I'm bitter. I'm not angry. And I love my brother and sister or my sister and sister. Whatever day Tyler chooses, whichever way he goes, I love all of them. However, wrong is wrong and right is right. And until we start standing on what is right, we will continue to be treated wrong. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. My sweet babies. And this is for you and Katt. What my brother and sister or my sister and sister. Whatever he wants to be identified at. You know, it's so interesting, my sweet baby, that as I said before those bots came in from India that were not good bots at all and crashed my live with false reports, that my sweet baby, I'm going to remind you, sweet baby, that Hollywood didn't know that when you played that role in Precious, you were actually doing an impersonation of your real self in real life. The danger is when actors don't have to stretch, as they say in the industry, to play a role. I personally feel like when you play a bitter, maniacal, sexually deviant, abusive person, and you allow a sexually deviant, maniacal, deviant person to be in your constant company and then conveniently become quiet for no accountability. Last time that I checked, and that comes from the book of Nipsey Hussle, last time that I checked, Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey didn't have somebody that they knew for 30 years that was gunned down while he was in the company working for a comedic company of Mr. Williams and his bodyguard. As a native of the area, because you've known Mr. Carroll way longer than I. Your tenure in business dealings is way more deeper than mine. Mr. Carroll didn't walk around yelling my name. He yelled yours, and he yelled Mr. Williams' name constantly in his life. Now, I'm not sure if he was yelling Mr. Williams' name in the middle of his death, but that's a whole nother story. I guess we'll never know that. Only person who knows that is him and God and whoever else was there. But as we go on, my sweet baby, I like how you tried to deflect the media with your recent post of stories to focus it and reshift it to Mr. Perry and Miss Winfrey when they billionaires, sweet baby, and you need to be worried about your friend that died that was yelling your name out his whole life while he was in the company of somebody that was abusing his, not only his own children, and you can look at the CPS reports for that, for those that you want to say it's a defamation. Those things is already there. So if you want to go look at CPS, you can look at the CPS records in California. I can give you the address if you like, and you can go do that and do what I've done and listen to the 911 calls and the many calls that were going on out there in Los Angeles, California, with Katt Williams and his adopted kids and his real kids. Also, the convenient fact that while all this is going on, these sacrifices, these convenience of quietness while asking others to respond to you. Maybe they're not responding to you right now because they think that you need to handle this situation that's going on with Mr. Carroll and Mr. Katt Williams in the tour and in the comedy world. That's where your voice is needed at. I don't think they need you on no producing parts. I don't think that's your calling, baby. My sweet baby. Because you haven't produced no edges in the last 10 years, and we still keep letting you talk as much as you want to, sweet baby. And I mean, I guess those glasses is only bifocal, and because they can only see half of the bisexuals that you're around that you're trying to call out. So, and also, since we're at it, I would like for you guys to please tag the media who are reporting this. Because as we move forward, I think it's fair. We've given it some time, and I was quiet in respect of Mr. Carroll's arrangements last week. But as I've been told, and as I understand, and as your video said, we're not letting this go. No, my sweet baby, thank you. Because we're going to start this week off with a bang of you bringing that ass here and sitting that ass down. You know, I want to address some things because I have some people that have some things to say. One of the most important things that we need to do, tag Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked. Somebody tag Tasha K. Shout out Tasha K. Tag 5150, Corey Holcomb. Tag all of the other outlets that have been covering this story since the beginning of it, because as my brother-in-law's Instagram name is Arc of Truth, I think there's some things that we need to clear up. There is a very disparaging video that's being passed around about Mr. Carroll. And it's so sad that it's being done. And I'm really just sad that you thought that we was that stupid. As these unofficial outlets who are officially posting videos without context, I want to add for the record of the people to realize that the video that you showed was from July 29th at 10 a.m. when it's unfortunately the sad statement to say that my brother was killed on August 20th, and the coroner's report said he was reported to be called in to be dead at 6 p.m. So I'm going to say that again. The video you showed was from July 29th, 2025 at 10 a.m., which is already noted on the camera. But Mr. Carroll became deceased on August 20th, 6 p.m. Also, while we're at it, I'll let you know a couple things for those people because I feel like we got to teach about what the law is. Just conveniently so you can know. You do understand that if there is an evidenced item, which is an exhibit, that would be an exhibit in the case of the prosecution as a form of defense, you would have this listed as a official piece of evidence, which if they can't talk during an active investigation, they for sure can't release pieces of evidence in an active investigation because pieces of evidence speak to the case. More specifically, that particular video is not an official video. It is not listed as an exhibit inside of what the district attorney has. So that means it has been not verified. We're not even going to get into artificial intelligence. We're just going to get into the fact that the metadata on the video and the video itself has to be very much verified, and it will be listed and released officially from the DA's office. See, they release pieces of when they are trying to get the public to think a certain way. This is what attorneys do. But it comes from the news. You understand? There's a press conference. These public items are made available, and the news themselves would have verified availability to actually post these things and say, this is from the night in question, because it's already verified. Conveniently, Mr. Williams has made donations to certain members of the No Jumper team financially in support, while he conveniently is not giving any money to his dying father. That's strange. So your father's dying, but you give money and things. Somebody tell Darren Fleet, who is my homeboy, I am on live right now. Can y'all tag Darren Fleet? Somebody tag Rdering Fleet. Also, the boss talked to Pops. Shout out to them for being here. While we're going through this, we just want to reflect one more time how we got here. And when I say that, I really want y'all to understand. Shout out Baltimore. For Monique to be saying that she's not going to let it go. Wait, I'm sorry. One more time. Just in case you didn't hear.
That's why when people say, Monique, when you going to side with Tyler and Oprah? I'm not. Just so we clear, I'm not. Because we've gotten so used to letting it go and moving on. Well, what? Move on from that. Doesn't mean I'm bitter. I'm not angry. And I love my brother and sister, or my sister and sister. Whatever day Tyler chooses, whichever way he goes, I love him.
And I want to let you know, I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. I love my brother and sister, or my sister and sister. Whatever day Mr. Williams wants to go with another man the way he wants to go. And if anybody knows, I know. I find it. Never mind. It's conveniently interesting for what we should be worried about. So again, let's recap. When you put out edited videos of people talking off screen, well, one, I want to address the video in question. And if someone would like to make some money off content, that's fine. I'm not trying to make any money off this. You can do it. Take the video and put it in succinct with the video below it. There's 2 videos that were posted on No Jumper, and those videos are of a day in question, which is July 29th, 2025 at 10 a.m. And not to be confused with put those 2 videos on top of each other. There's a point in which Mr. Carroll draws a weapon. I want you to understand there's a video of a camera on a tripod that he clearly sees is on. At the same time, Mr. Trinell Williams is walking up to the door, closes the door, goes outside the door, and while the weapon that Mr. Carroll has is drawn, the door is closed. So there couldn't be a perceived threat unless he had on glasses that were synced to the camera that showed him what was going on the other side of the door, or he's Superman, Kal, last son of fucking Krypton, and he can see through a door. There was no threat. In which case, Mr. Carroll put his weapon back away. Also conveniently noted that with Mr. Williams, who's 6'8", 270 pounds, prior murder convictions in cases that he's been paid to beat, and assaults and other things that have gone on, since we just want to be so slanderous and so maniacal of a person who is dead to speak to say that. As if you don't have a record. If you notice in the video or you walk outside, you will see a vehicle. So if by chance, right, this happened to be the day in question, well, in court, it's not going to hold up because you can't lie in wait. Lie in wait means you thought that there was a perceived conflict which would be necessary for lethal force, but instead of leaving the situation, you waited to make a response versus leaving the property. You could have gotten in the car. You could have walked down the street. But then, maybe, just maybe, who's advising you? Because here's the most damaging part of your video, sir. My professional opinion, which should not be taken much, but going by the track record of how this case has been going and how things are being just quietly swept away, we'll just say this. It's more to the contrary. Why would you, who's effeminately afraid and now using the justification that you had to use lethal force in any type of conflict, who had a 30-day notice and then conveniently prior further notice of concern, well, why would you go back into a cohabitated space with someone you felt that you had to use lethal force on? Lethal force means I fear for my life. I have no other way to get away. Well, you had an exit. You had a vehicle. You could have Ubered. I'm sure you guys, are smart. Also, well, better get Mako, because you're just now given 2 other exhibits of premeditated murder. Yeah, that's the part. And also, you've also made good case and grounds to where in a wrongful death case, which doesn't matter if you paid the family or some members of the family or did whatever you needed to do or whatever you thought you needed to do or whatever you did. All of his heirs are welcome to get millions of dollars because since you had video record that there was an issue of a problem that, in which case, and let me be clear about this. I don't have a personal problem with Mr. Williams, Trinell. I don't hate you. I hate the company that you've kept. I hate the fact that as a youth, you were exposed to a group of people who have led your life in the direction that it is. Let me say that again. Trinell, I don't hate you. I hate the company you have kept. I hate the decisions that you had to make. And I hate that you believed this is the life that you should have had to live. If you were exposed to this environment, it's only further indicative of the environment that you are around. And for anybody who's been around this environment on a tour, it's just as loud as those gunshots that went into Mr. Carroll. Because Mr. Carroll, a military veteran who served our country, let's start there. While we're talking about Mr. Carroll, while he's deceased, potentially, and I can't factually say this, to potentially maybe be receiving some form of disabled veteran pay. There's a clause once you hire a disabled vet, they're protected in their status of where they work at. That means you have to provide and accommodate a work environment for them that is safe to not trigger and cause further PTSD. So, essentially, while we talk about Mr. Carroll posthumously, why would he fear his life so much if he had to draw a weapon at a said time, which we can't speak on? I just feel that it's in bad taste, it's ill nature. But also, I want to say this: for those people who are out here speaking to the DA of DeSoto County and the good people of South Haven, Mississippi, we'll say this. This all could have been avoided. It will come out. It will be put out. It can be found just based on the address of any calls, just like those tapes from Young Thug, Baltimore. It's called an open records request. Any public person in the United States can do it. You can do a public records request to ask for the phone calls that Mr. Williams made while he was in jail. I mean, if it was a RICO case and Young Thug's calls got out, we definitely know that these could come out, because why wouldn't they? It's public record. Then you can also back and look up all of the 911 tapes from the address. You can also look up how many assaults occurred at the address. You can also look up other cases that happened at the address or other addresses. I think today's class lesson should be left on a high note. I think that, and I'm sure that justice will be served at some point. And to the district attorney, who so conveniently responded to all of the things that I said, I will say this. If Mr. Williams is cleared of involvement, then why would Trinell Williams post a video posing to be the time in question of the murder of Mr. Carroll when they're both saying Katt Williams' name? So the murder tape for defense has Katt Williams being called to the scene. Wait, you understand? So if this is the day in question to show that Mr. Carroll was belligerent or whatever they're saying, or aggressive, then why was it that Mr. Katt Williams' name is being mentioned in the tape? Why would he put that out if he didn't have any involvement? Help me understand that. Because in the tape it says, he on the way up here. And when he said that, Mr. Carroll was still alive. So that means he had time to make it to the scene. So that means the only way he could be cleared as the person who was the shooter, and the only reason why he would have to be quiet because of the active investigation and not be vocal in his support of Reggie Carroll, is if, and only if, he was a witness. And by witness, I mean two things. Witness would mean you're a character witness, because who in South Haven, Mississippi, for these two guys who happen to be roommates, who happen to live less than 900 feet from your ranch, Katt Williams. Let's say it again. Just like other places, history repeats itself. People are creatures of habit. In other places that Mr. Katt Williams has lived, he's always kept his thug mansion or guard house conveniently close to his main residence. So, again, if the house that Mr. Katt Williams, the ranch, that's people can search and tell you where it is. It's 1,000 feet away from where Reggie's body was found, which is 400 feet away from the home where Mr. Williams and Mr. Carroll were residing. Then it wouldn't have taken very long to get to the scene. You probably could have heard the gunshots. Look up 12-gauge shotgun and tell me how far those sounds go away. That means if a 12-gauge shotgun goes off and you less than 1,000 feet away, you would have heard it. There's no way you didn't. My sweet baby, you guys are going to have to do a lot better. The whole team is going to have to do a lot better. If you go back to the first video, I told you that there's 3 things they're going to do. They're going to first mislead, then deflect, then destroy Mr. Carroll's character. They want to damage the public perspective optically of who he is. And use that, because who in the local community is going to be able to speak to the character of these 2 men who are roommates? Who can tell you effectively, as a witness, the things about these 2 guys who you conveniently have worked with for the last 10 to 15 years? Hey, I'm nobody. But even a nobody can see stuff when it doesn't make sense. So, again, for those of you guys, before we go out, let's remind everybody where we are.
That's why when people say, Monique, when you going to start with Tyler and Oprah? I'm not. Just so we clear, I'm not. Because we've gotten so used to letting it go and moving on. Well, where does that come from? Let it go. That dates all the way back to slavery. Just don't say nothing. Just keep moving on. And that's why we continue to be treated the way that we get treated. So for me, my babies, I won't let go and I won't move on from that. Doesn't mean I'm bitter. I'm not angry. And I love my brother and sister, or my sister and sister. Whatever day Tyler chooses, whichever way he goes, I love all of them.
Yeah, and whichever way Mr. Katt Williams wants to go, brother and sister, sister and brother, sister and sister, sister. If y'all want to be Pinky and the Brain, T and Tamara, Foghorn and Leghorn, uppercase A, lowercase a, my sweet baby, then y'all do that. Y'all have a good day. Oh, tag the Shade Room. Tag Jasmine Brand. Big shout out to Hollywood Unlocked. Because we got to get the word out. I don't care about monetizing this. This don't matter. Just do what y'all need to do. Eat. Eat how you need to. My sweet baby. I mean, we know Monique is eating right now while she's watching it. She looked like she just ate. But what else is crazy is her edges is eating up. And that's the crazy part. It's just like, where does that come from? Where does that come from? No, it's not. It's hidden like the distance between her chin and her shoulders, where her neck is hitting at. Just like they tried to hide the real answers to what's going on. So while we here, and speaking of things that's hidden, all things in 2024 and 2025 is going to be brought to the light. And it's crazy, Mr. Katt Williams, you said that. And it's coming true. Tell us what happened to your son, Malachi. Tell us what happened. Why was he in such distress that Malachi needed to kill himself? This is not me speaking ill of your son. It's more to the silence of the guilt that you have. See, I recognize patterns here. It's already documenting that there was abuse in that home. And listen, we've all made our mistakes, but yeah, you know, what was happening to him to where a 15-year-old needed to end his own life on your watch? Death is a familiar spirit around you. And I won't let you make it a familiar spirit around comedy. Mr. Carroll will be the last. There will be no more. It stops. I can post videos about being funny. I got thousands of videos to post. And tell us that. Tell us why you didn't have your mom or your dad or your brother go to the funeral. Because you was quiet about that. So what? Let me guess. You got a posthumous set of comments that you're going to say about your son as to why? Where was your antennas? All right, let me do this. Block him. Hey, you got to get up out of here. He get on my nerves. All right, boy. I'll show you the door. Yeah, you throwing up out of here. So, yeah. You got the attention you need. Okay. Talk later.